Amid the still waters of North America, a hunter moves through almost without leaving a trace of its presence. Behind that graceful appearance are hunts that end faster than they begin. And in this place, a peaceful exterior is sometimes what makes nature most brutal of all. A North American marsh wrapped in thin early morning mist, reeds swaying softly in the breeze. Amid the shallow water, a tall figure appears, its blue-gray plumage blending into the marsh backdrop. In the middle of the wetland, the great blue heron emerges like a living spear, over 1.2 meters tall with a wingspan of nearly 2 meters, standing in silence, waiting for prey to step into range. As the early sun warms the water, a school of small fish swims past a submerged grass clump, the heron still motionless, only its amber eyes slowly tracking every movement below the surface. One fish separates from the school, closer still. The curved neck slowly lowers, each vertebra locking into position like a spring being quietly compressed. Then the neck releases in an instant. The head drives into the water like a lance. The surface explodes. And when the head rises again, a fish is pinned sideways in the long beak. It rotates the fish to the right angle and swallows it whole, a small bulge traveling down the throat. The body returns to its familiar posture, waiting for the next movement. But fish are only the simplest item on the great blue heron's menu. This elegant bird can swallow nearly anything that fits within its beak, which is over 20 centimeters long. At midday, a water snake slides along the grassy bank at the marsh's edge, seeking shade, unaware that it is moving toward a predator that even its own parents would avoid. The heron spots the snake, but does not lunge. It only paces slowly across the mud, quietly circling to cut off the prey's route back to the water. The snake raises its head and recognizes the danger, immediately turns to flee. But the S-curved neck has already lowered, ready to fire before the next movement. The beak drives down, the snake immediately coils tight around it. The great blue heron shakes sideways, then slams the prey hard against the surface, the mud. By the final slam, the snake's body begins to go limp, the coil loosening. The hunter shakes hard until the snake falls free of the beak, then grips it again and begins the process of swallowing. Several minutes of struggle disappear as quickly as they began. It stands motionless in the shallows once more, neck curved, feathers smooth, amber eyes already tracking the next movement. To the south of the marsh, where the water is deeper and the mud softer, a young American alligator, less than 30 centimeters long, glides slowly along the water's edge, learning to stalk and hunt. Only a few months old, it is still far too small to be at the top of the food chain, while it remains a target itself for larger creatures watching from around the marsh. The young alligator moves to the shallows, stops to observe, its underdeveloped hunting instinct leading it to mistake the gray shape ahead for nothing more than a dry log. It swims 1 more meter, then half a meter. The neck lowers, So slowly, the water makes no ripple, locking onto the small creature busy paddling through the mud. In the blink of an eye, the beak clamps onto the baby alligator's body before it can react, then slams it repeatedly against the water. The prey struggles weakly and gradually goes still. The young alligator goes motionless. The creature that would have become the lord of the marsh has just disappeared into the mouth of a bird. It would have frightened away once fully grown. As afternoon comes and the water warms, creatures grow more active. And to the north of the marsh, a mother mallard and her ducklings swim slowly through the still water in single file. One duckling is pulled sideways by the current, falling behind, small feet kicking frantically, opening a dangerous gap between it and the protection of the group. The gray shape changes direction, unhurried, each step aimed directly toward the straggling duckling, while the mother continues swimming ahead, completely unaware the group is now one short. The prey swims across its path. One single movement, the beak snaps shut instantly, the yellow down disappears into splashing water, and the mother turns in alarm. The heron raises its head and swallows the duckling whole, leaving a flat water surface behind. The mother circles, searching uselessly, then continues moving as though nothing was lost. The heron stands motionless, the small ripples slowly fading. In a single day, several different prey have passed one after another through this hunting ground. The belly is not yet full. The stance in the middle of the marsh remains, because in the water around it, almost every movement can become food. Late afternoon, the heron's shadow stretches long across the water as a small frog touches a lily pad near the marsh's edge and vanishes instantly. It does not hunt by species, it hunts by opportunity, where any creature that appears at the right distance, the right size, at the right moment can disappear. Its weapon is not fang or talon, but a curved neck that can compress and then release in a flash, leaving prey no time to react. But speed is only half of it. The other half lies in the ability to stand completely still for so long that many creatures fail to recognize the danger standing right beside them. Long toes distribute its weight across the soft mud surface, allowing it to move silently through the hunting zone without being detected. In the low afternoon light, the heron continues moving into deeper water, where larger prey appears, reading the entire marsh like a living hunting map. A larger fish swims slowly near the bottom. The great blue heron watches from above, adjusting its angle of view to compensate for water refraction with high precision. It releases the neck. The head drives deeper than this morning. The large fish is pinned sideways in the beak, thrashing hard. The heron slams the prey into the water, stunning the fish, then swallows it whole. The belly grows heavier, the steps slower, but the eyes remain alert. Any creature that swims past triggers an automatic attack reflex. 7 hunts in a single day. No selecting by species, only selecting by distance. No chasing, only waiting. And when the moment comes, everything ends in the blink of an eye. Below the surface, life continues normally for fish and frogs, while the mother alligator can only protect her young within the limits of her own field of view. The mother duck leads her ducklings into dense reeds to reduce risk. But the marsh always holds more danger, and the 7 that exist today may be 6 tomorrow. The heron still stands motionless in the marsh, neck curved, eyes open like a living statue. But inside the stomach are bones, scales, and feathers, and the water surface reflects the heron's slender silhouette. But beneath the mud, organic remains are decomposing, gradually converting into the nutrients that sustain this entire ecosystem. That cycle maintains the recurring rhythm of hunting, as species continuously appear around the heron's feeding zone, forming a stable but ever-changing system of participants. The heron spreads its wide wings, glides low across the marsh surface, then settles onto the reed bed bank in the last of the afternoon light, completing a full day of hunting. The marsh slowly shifts its rhythm, smaller creatures becoming more active as the gray shape in the water has departed, reopening the space for the natural pulse of life to resume. Tomorrow morning, when the first ray of sunlight touches the water, the heron will already be standing motionless in the marsh, while a fish unknowingly swims gradually into striking range. But the rhythm of life in the marsh continues by natural instinct, as species keep moving through the water where the heron typically lies in ambush to hunt. The marsh landscape is nearly unchanged: shallow water, soft mud, and softly swaying reeds, concealing a motionless yet supremely effective predator. Through the still water blanketing the surface of the marsh, where the light of dawn barely touches a few inches of the waterline, a sound of heavy breathing rises from the reeds. It is not the sound of fish breaking the surface, nor the wind moving through the grass. It is the breath of a creature, watching your every move. Okavango does not welcome you. It tests you, and whoever hesitates will not have time to understand where they went wrong. Welcome to Okavango, not a river, not a lake. This is a survival machine powered by floodwater, sunlight, and blood. A place where every flood season is a rebirth, and every nightfall is a survival contest that no one is allowed to lose. Here, humans, are only observers. No privileges, no protection. Only the naked truth of nature. Before going deeper into this journey, if you carry within you the fire of the wild, subscribe now so you never miss a thing. Because what lies ahead is not a sightseeing tour. This is a survival challenge in the heart of Africa's greatest flood delta. If Okavango has a king, it is not the species that swims the fastest. It is the species that dares to wade through deep water to claim the right to rule. With a body weighing over 200 kilograms and a jaw force exceeding 300 kilograms, the lions of Okavango bring down a water buffalo like a giant vice, clamping shut and never letting go. But their true strength is not in the strike. They are population controllers that help maintain the balance between the buffalo herds and the vegetation across the entire delta. In Okavango, lions do not hunt in the usual way. They ambush from floating grass islands. Each move forward a silent chess game. The pride splits into groups. One side creates noise to herd the prey. The other lies waiting in silence. This tactic has been passed down through generations of Okavango lion prides. But this land is shrinking. Poaching and agricultural fencing fragment territories. Lion prides grow smaller and no longer carry enough genetic diversity to survive. The lions of Okavango, who have learned to live with water, are now learning to live with a threat they cannot hunt: the disappearance of their own home. Okavango draws a long breath, and in the distance, another call begins to rise. If the lion is the king of strength, then the African wild dog is the genius of the collective, the only species that wins through discipline, not muscle. Weighing only 25 kilograms, yet with a hunting success rate of up to 80%, higher than both lions and leopards. Their weapon is not fang and claw, but perfect coordination requiring no language. They are the engine of the ecosystem. Each hunt moves the prey herds, creating a cycle of rotation that allows the grasslands of Okavango to recover and spread. Before a hunt, the entire pack performs a ritual. They lick each other's faces, heads touching heads, not out of affection, but as a combat ceremony. After that, no one leaves anyone behind. They share food first with the young and the sick, the only species in Okavango that places care for others above its own needs. Fewer than 6,600 individuals remain across all of Africa. Rabies, from domestic dogs, farmers' snares, and habitat loss, are wiping out the continent's most skilled hunters. Every wild dog pack is a miniature society. When a pack disappears, it is not just animals that are lost. An entire culture of hunting built across generations is lost with them. Night falls over Okavango, and beneath the water, something older, colder, begins to move. If the lion is king on land, and the wild dog is the master tactician, then the crocodile is the primal darkness of Okavango, the species that witnessed the extinction of the dinosaurs and is still here. The crocodile's jaws generate a bite force exceeding 1,700 kilograms, more than any living creature on Earth. A single roll of the body underwater tears apart anything in just 3 seconds. But the crocodile is not only a destroyer, they are natural canal diggers. Their sleeping hollows create water pools that help hundreds of species survive through the dry season. Crocodiles do not give chase. They wait, sometimes for hours, even days, until the prey steps close enough that no escape remains. When they strike, there is no warning, no running start, only the water breaking open for one beat, and everything is already over. Despite existing for over 200 million years, the crocodiles of Okavango are losing their habitat. Water pollution and agricultural land conversion are shrinking the living space of the oldest surviving reptile on Earth. A species that has survived 5 mass extinctions now faces a threat that no evolution can defend against: human indifference. The water surface goes flat again, but just nearby, a heavier breath a larger body begins to rise. But the story does not stop with predators. As we leave the shallows, another world begins to reveal itself. The world of the giants that lie beneath the surface. This is the deep water of Okavango, where light does not reach the bottom, and anyone who enters cannot determine where they stand in the food chain. The floodwater does not only bring fish and plants, it brings the hippopotamus, a species weighing 4 tons, the most aggressive and most important creature in the entire delta ecosystem. If the crocodile is the silent darkness, then the hippopotamus is a moving storm. And the next part of this journey will take us straight into the eye of that storm. The hippo does not need to hunt to become the most dangerous creature in Okavango. It is dangerous simply because it exists, and no species is allowed to forget that. Weighing over 4 tons, capable of running at 30 kilometers per hour on land, jaws that open to 180 degrees. Hippos kill more people in Africa than any other large animal, including lions. But the hippo is a nutrient pump. Every day they deposit hundreds of kilograms of organic matter into Okavango, feeding the algae, feeding the fish, and sustaining the entire food chain below. Male hippos mark territory by spinning their tails and spraying dung, the clearest and most undeniable boundary language Okavango has ever known. When territory is violated, there is no negotiation. 2 males crash into each other, jaw against jaw, the sound of impact splitting the air until one submits or flees. But hippos are disappearing. Prolonged drought, declining flood levels, and ivory poaching are pushing this species toward the endangered list. An Okavango without hippos would be a dead river. Newborn hippo calves need clean water to breathe. When the water is polluted, when flood levels no longer rise high enough, the survival rate of the next generation drops to catastrophic levels. The water rises, the water recedes, and in that cycle, nothing is permanent. Every strength has its limit. Every territory has its end. Here, speed no longer matters. Strength no longer matters. The survivor is the one who can read Okavango, knowing when to be still, when to strike, when to step back. Tonight, the lions have cornered a buffalo herd at the water's edge. The crocodiles are waiting below. The wild dogs stand at the rim of the darkness, and the hippos do not care about any of them. A sound. The buffalo herd breaks in every direction. Water explodes upward, and in that chaos, Okavango takes its share, as it has done for millions of years. The loser of tonight will vanish without a trace. Only the ripple of water spreading outward, and the silence of Okavango answers everything. Everything you have just witnessed is not a collection of separate stories. Okavango is a living organism, and every species is an irreplaceable cell within it. Lions control the buffalo herds. Wild dogs distribute prey across the territory. Crocodiles dig canals. Hippos nourish the water. Switch off one, and the entire system will tilt. Okavango does not exist because of floodwater. It exists because of balance, a balance rewritten over millions of years, now being erased in just a few centuries. And when one link disappears, it is not just one species that is lost. It is an entire ecological symphony that has never been written before and will never be written again. But the most dangerous creature in Okavango is not the lion, not the crocodile, not the hippo. It is us, the only species that destroys without needing to be hungry. Hydroelectric systems upstream are regulating the flow. Less floodwater means less grassland, fewer fish, less life, diminishing at every level, multiplying downward. Poaching does not only kill animals, it shatters social structures. Lion prides lose their leaders, wild dog packs lose their memory, hippos lose their guide generation. And the price to be paid is not only nature's to bear. When Okavango dies, the millions of people who depend on its water and tourism will lose everything. When the lion's roar fades into the night, when the wild dog pack disappears behind the curtain of grass, when the water surface returns to calm as though nothing ever happened. The question that remains is not, what have we discovered? It is, do we have enough time to change? Before the answer becomes a permanent silence. What will we have left when Okavango no longer floods? When the greatest survival machine in Africa finally runs out of fuel? Okavango is still here, still flowing, still alive. But for how long depends on the answer we choose to give today. If this journey has made you shudder, left you unsettled, or simply made it impossible to look at Okavango the same way again, leave a comment below. And until next time, at the next brutal survival arenas, where nature does not ask if you are ready, dawn slowly spreads across the Serengeti plains. An ancient land awakens, where time moves to the rhythm of nature. This is Serengeti, a land of giants, where strength and size determine survival. Serengeti is not just a place to live. It is a domain of power where the strong endure through size and dominance. In this land, 5 creatures rule the rhythm of life. They are known as the Big Five. Serengeti stretches across 30,000 square kilometers from Tanzania to Kenya, a plain shaped by volcanic fire and time. 2 seasons govern this land, a harsh dry season and a rebirthing wet season, creating the rhythm of the entire ecosystem. This very harshness has forged some of the most powerful creatures on the planet, the apex rulers of the food chain. Five species, 5 symbols of power. Each carries its own weapon to survive in this unforgiving wilderness. The African elephant is the largest land animal on Earth, with a weight that can exceed 13,000 pounds. Its massive size means adult elephants have virtually no natural predators. Research shows that each elephant can reshape vegetation structures across vast areas. By knocking down trees and opening pathways, elephants create grasslands for dozens of other species. When protecting their young, elephants form defensive circles that are nearly impossible to penetrate. Lions may approach, but distance is quickly established. The elephant's power lies not in hunting, but in controlling living space. This ecosystem engineering role is why elephants belong to the Big Five. The lion, Panthera leo, king of the Serengeti. An adult male can weigh up to 420 pounds, pure muscle. A lion's bite force reaches 650 psi, strong enough to crush bone, with canines up to 8 centimeters long, perfectly lethal weapons. Yet true strength lies in the pride. 15 to 20 predators hunting together, a collective strategy refined over millions of years. Lionesses, lighter at around 180 kilograms but faster, are the primary hunters that sustain the pride. They mainly hunt wildebeest and zebra, controlling prey populations. Males are tasked with territorial defense. Their roars can carry up to 8 kilometers, declaring absolute dominance. This dynamic keeps both predator and prey populations in balance. Lions are part of the Big Five because of their control over the food chain. Rhinos weigh over 5,000 pounds and possess skin up to 2 inches thick. Their front horn, made of keratin, is a formidable defensive weapon. Lions rarely hunt adult rhinos due to the extreme risk involved. When threatened, rhinos can accelerate rapidly over short distances. Evolutionary biology has shaped them to rely on strength rather than agility. Their mere presence is often enough to alter predator behavior. Rhinos control territory through enforced distance. That is why rhinos are part of the Big Five. African buffalo, known as Black Death, a name feared by hunters. 1,500 pounds of muscle and fury. Buffalo live in herds of 500 to 1,000 individuals. When attacked, they form a living fortress. When lions target calves, the entire herd reacts instantly. Buffalo do not flee. They counterattack, charging with 500 pounds of force, using horns and crushing hooves. Numerous studies show that lions are frequently injured when confronting African buffalo. Collective strength allows buffalo to protect the next generation and avoid unnecessary conflict. This keeps predator populations, such as lions, from exceeding ecological limits. African buffalo are part of the Big Five because of their social strength and their role in maintaining ecological balance. Leopards are the smallest members of the Big Five, yet they possess one of the highest strength-to-weight ratios. Anatomical studies show that their neck and shoulder muscles are exceptionally developed, allowing them to lift heavy loads. Thanks to this structure, leopards can haul prey weighing twice their own body weight. Dragging prey into trees is a crucial survival strategy in Serengeti. At height, leopards avoid hyenas and lions, both notorious for stealing kills. Leopards hunt alone, relying on silent approach and precise ambush. Their hunting success rate is higher than many larger predators. Leopards are part of the Big Five because of their ability to control resources in highly competitive environments. On rare occasions, all Big Five species gather around a single water source. There is no conflict. Size and ecological roles naturally establish order. For large animals, access to water and food becomes increasingly critical. Size, once an advantage, now also brings survival pressure. More flexible species may adapt faster. Yet the Big Five endure through strategies refined over thousands of years of evolution. As the sun sinks lower, Serengeti gradually returns to its familiar quiet rhythm. The Big Five do not dominate through violence, but through presence and ecological purpose. Dawn breaks over the Serengeti plains. Golden light spreads across the endless grasslands. A new day begins with the eternal cycle of life. On this land, life and death intertwine. Antelopes run hastily. Forest elephants move slowly. Lions lie stretched in the shade. Each species plays its own role. But there are animals that receive less attention. Not beautiful, not majestic, yet they are the silent force keeping the savanna clean. They are nature's sanitation crew, the cleanup workers of carcasses, those who transform decay into new life. This is their story. The African sky always has circling silhouettes, vultures, close relatives of eagles and hawks, but they chose a different path. No hunting, only cleaning. Their vision is extraordinary. From heights over 3,000 meters, vultures can detect animal carcasses just hours after death. Africa has many vulture species. White-backed vultures, lappet-faced vultures, white-headed vultures. Each species has its own role in the feast. Featherless heads, long bare necks, not by chance. When feeding deep inside rotting carcasses, feathers would be covered with bacteria. Evolution eliminated them. Vultures' stomachs contain extremely strong acid, can digest bones, skin, even destroy disease-causing bacteria like anthrax and plague. When an antelope dies, information spreads quickly. The first vulture to discover it flies down. Others see it and follow. Within minutes, dozens gather. But vultures are not always first to see the prey. Spotted hyenas. Crocuta crocuta, Africa's most skilled scavenger. Hyenas have a strange laugh, a sound many find disturbing. But this isn't laughter. This is communication, how they call their kind to share the meal. Hyena jaws have the strongest bite force among medium-sized carnivores. Over 1,100 psi, can crush bones as large as a buffalo's femur. Many think hyenas only eat carrion. Wrong. They are excellent hunters. 70% of food comes from their own hunting, but they don't pass up free meals. In hyena clans, females dominate the entire pack. The alpha female is larger, stronger, and decides everything. A matriarchal society rare in the mammal world. When hyenas finish eating most of it, vultures dare to approach. They wait, patiently, without competing, only picking up leftovers. But there are smaller ones who haven't had their share yet. Jackals, Canis mesomelus and Canis adustus. Golden jackals and black-backed jackals, true opportunists. Jackals weigh only 7 to 15 kilograms, not strong enough to compete with hyenas or vultures. They wait their turn, or stealthily grab a bone and run away. Jackals live in pairs or small families. They are intelligent, learning to live among the stronger ones, avoiding conflict, choosing the right moment. Night is their time, when hyenas hunt far away, when vultures cannot fly. Jackals return, checking what remains. Beside the meat eaters, there's a strange guest, marabou stork. Leptoptelos crumenifer, nearly 1.5 meters tall, wingspan of 3 meters, one of the largest flying birds. Marabou storks are not beautiful. Bald head, ugly long neck, a red flesh pouch hanging under the neck like an air balloon. But this design has a reason. Like vultures, being featherless keeps storks clean when sticking their heads into rotting carcasses. The air sac helps cool the body under Africa's 40-degree sun. Marabou storks stand waiting at the edge, unhurried. When hyenas and vultures are full, they approach, long sharp beaks like spears, tearing at remaining soft parts. Marabou storks also eat dead fish, dead frogs, even human waste near villages. They're not picky. Anything organic will do. A large animal carcass can feed hundreds of creatures for weeks. First the lions, then hyenas, then vultures, jackals, marabou storks. But the story isn't over. There are still the smallest workers: insects, blowflies, beetles, ants, maggots, the invisible army. Blowflies appear within minutes after an animal dies. They lay eggs. Within 24 hours, maggots hatch and begin eating. Thousands of them, working non-stop. Dermestid, beetles. They arrive later when the flesh has dried, eating the last parts of skin, tendons, hair, cleaning bones to the smallest detail. Ants also play a role. They carry small pieces back to the nest, sharing with the entire colony. Not a piece is wasted. Everything is completely recycled. Within weeks, a 900-kilogram buffalo carcass disappears completely. Only white bones remain, and then even the bones decompose, returning to the earth. This is a cycle no one sees, no one praises, but without them, the savanna would become a dead land. Vultures, hyenas, jackals, marabou storks, insects. Each species takes away a part. Together, they complete the task no one wants to do. They prevent disease from spreading. Bacteria and viruses from carcasses can kill entire herds, but the acidic stomachs of vultures and hyenas destroy them. Research shows that where vulture numbers decline, rabies and anthrax increase dramatically. They are the invisible shield protecting the entire ecosystem. Hyenas travel up to 80 kilometers daily, patrolling the savanna, searching for carcasses, processing them quickly before decay spreads. Jackals do similar work on a smaller scale. They clean up carcasses of mice, rabbits, small birds, deaths that vultures and hyenas don't notice. Insects work at the micro level, decomposing each cell, converting complex proteins into simple nutrients, returning to the soil, feeding grass, feeding plants. Each year, millions of animals die on the African savanna. Old age, disease, hunted, hunger, thirst. Death is part of life. Without the cleanup crew, carcasses would pile up. Putrid stench, disease outbreaks, poisoned water, ecosystem collapse. But that doesn't happen because they are here, those no one wants to look at, the despised species, but they work tirelessly. The African savanna's cleanliness is not natural. Behind the wild beauty are millions of hours of silent labor by these creatures. Vulture numbers are declining. Poisoning, habitat loss, toxic veterinary drugs in livestock carcasses. In some areas, 90% of vultures have disappeared. When vultures are gone, hyenas must work twice as hard. Jackals can't replace them. Insects work much slower. The system begins to overload. But there's still hope. Conservation programs are making efforts, educating communities, banning toxic drugs, protecting habitats. Hyenas adapt better. They live near humans, eating waste, not ideal, but helps them survive when natural habitats shrink. Marabou storks, too. They appear in cities, perching on rooftops, eating landfill waste, becoming Africa's city vultures. Jackals are small, flexible, learning to live among humans. They are survivors, but the wild savanna needs them to return. In the natural world, there are no dirty jobs, only necessary jobs. Vultures, hyenas, jackals, storks, insects. They do work no one else does. We often honor lions, elephants, leopards, symbols of strength and beauty. But the savanna cannot exist without the cleanup crew. They transform death into life, decay into nutrients, danger into safety. Not glamorous, but absolutely essential. Nature doesn't waste. Everything is recycled. Every creature has a role. And these sanitation workers are crucial gears keeping the machine running. The next dawn, vultures fly into the sky again. Hyenas patrol again. Jackals lurk again. Marabou storks stand waiting again. Insects work again. The work never ends. Each new day brings new tasks, and they are ready, as they have been for millions of years. The African savanna is beautiful because it's clean. Clean because of them, the silent heroes, those who keep life going. Don't turn away from them. Don't underestimate their role. They're ugly, but necessary. They're frightening, but important. In nature's grand picture, every brushstroke has meaning. Vultures, hyenas, jackals, storks, insects. They are indispensable strokes. The African savanna keeps turning. Life keeps flowing. Death keeps coming. And these sanitation workers will always be there, transforming endings into beginnings. Remember and respect them, because this savanna, this planet, needs those who do dirty work to keep the world clean. This is the African savanna, where beauty and ugliness coexist, where life and death are one, and where the environmental sanitation workers work ceaselessly, so the cycle continues. The African savanna stretches endlessly. Afternoon sun casts gold across dry grasslands. This is a place where survival demands special adaptation. Daytime temperatures exceed 40 degrees. Water sources are scarce. Predators lurk everywhere. Only the strongest species survive. In this harsh land, many animal species have found ways to survive, running fast, stalking, or flying high. But one species chose its own path. In a cool rock den, a small creature is resting, black and white fur sharply defined. This is the honey badger, one of the most extraordinary animals in Africa. Mellivora capensis is the scientific name of this species, close relatives of weasels and mongooses. When fully grown, they weigh about 12 kilograms and are 80 centimeters long. The distinctive black and white two-toned coat is very recognizable. Head, back, and tail are gray-white. Face, legs, and belly are jet black. This is a warning signal to enemies. Long, curved claws designed for digging. Sharp teeth for effective tearing. The face, though small, displays unusual determination. Honey badgers are distributed widely throughout sub-Saharan Africa, from Senegal to Ethiopia, south to South Africa. Some individuals also live in India and the Middle East. Their habitat is diverse, from dry grasslands to sparse forests, from rocky areas to near deserts. The honey badger's adaptability far exceeds many other species. Life expectancy in the wild is about 7 to 8 years. In protected environments, they can live longer. Current numbers remaining in the wild have not been accurately recorded. The honey badger's most distinctive feature is its special skin layer. Skin nearly 6 millimeters thick, hard as armor. More importantly, it's very loose relative to the body. This skin structure allows honey badgers to twist flexibly even when bitten tightly. Honey badgers can immediately turn their heads to bite back. This skin layer can resist arrows, spears, even fangs. This is the result of thousands of years of evolution in a dangerous environment. But the most special weapon is their extremely strong poison resistance. Their immune system can neutralize the venom of many dangerous snake species. Special antibodies in honey badger blood can neutralize cobra venom. Even venom from mambas or puff adders has little effect on them. If bitten by a venomous snake, honey badgers may lose consciousness. But after only about 2 hours, they will wake up as if nothing happened. After recovery, they usually return and eat the very snake that just bit them. This behavior demonstrates this species' steadfast hunting instinct. The honey badger's intelligence is also noteworthy. They are among the few wild animals that can use tools. Wood pieces, stones can all become implements. Observations have recorded honey badgers using tree branches as ladder steps to climb walls, piling dirt into mounds to climb over fences. This is a rare problem-solving ability. Many conservation areas struggle when trying to keep honey badgers within their grounds. They always find ways to escape. This species' persistence has virtually no limits. This behavior is not due to hyperactivity. This is a strong territorial instinct. Honey badgers need large spaces to live and search for food. Each individual can control territory up to 50 square kilometers wide. They move regularly within this range, never stopping too long in one place. Honey badgers are omnivores with an extremely diverse diet, from insects, reptiles, birds, eggs, to fruits and roots. Their favorite food is bee larvae and honey. The English name honey badger comes from this. They're willing to face danger to get food. When discovering a beehive, honey badgers don't hesitate to attack. Thousands of stinging bees don't deter them. The thick skin layer protects effectively. They use powerful claws to break open the hive, then enjoy the larvae inside. Sometimes they eat even the adult bees. The honey badger's sense of smell is very developed. They can detect prey 30 centimeters underground, helping them find turtle eggs and animal burrows. The honey badger's snake hunting skills are particularly notable. They actively seek out venomous snake species. Agile movements help them avoid fatal bites. A honey badger's bite to the snake's head usually causes instant death. Then, they eat the entire snake, including the head containing venom sacs. Honey badgers are active mainly at night and at dusk. Cool temperatures help them move easily. During hot days, they rest in rock dens or tree shade. Their vision is not strong, but combined with acute smell and hearing, they hunt effectively even without moonlight. When not digging their own burrows, honey badgers often seize burrows of other animals. Foxes, mongooses, even porcupines can lose their homes to honey badgers. They charge into burrows, drive out the old owners, and occupy the space. This behavior demonstrates the species' strong character and energy conservation. In burrows, honey badgers will rest and reproduce. Young are usually born 1 to 2 per litter. Mothers nurse young for 12 months before they become independent. Despite their small size, honey badgers are famous for their extraordinary courage. They don't avoid any enemy, even the largest predators in Africa. Lions, leopards, hyenas have all tried to attack honey badgers, but the special skin layer and ferocity make them usually give up. Not worth the effort. When threatened, honey badgers emit high-pitched sounds and stand up to look bigger. They don't back down, even willing to charge and attack first. There are cases of a single honey badger chasing an entire pride of lions away from prey. This determination is a survival strategy proven effective. Most predators don't want to waste energy on difficult prey like honey badgers. They seek easier targets. However, honey badgers are not without enemies. Giant pythons can strangle them. Eagles can catch inexperienced young. Besides hunting, honey badgers are also environmental cleaners. They eat dead animal carcasses, helping control pests and clean up habitats. Honey badgers also play an important role in controlling venomous snake populations. Regular snake hunting helps balance the ecosystem. The honey badger's behavior of destroying beehives also has ecological effects. Many insect species and small birds benefit from destroyed hives. Special relationship with honey-guide birds. This bird will lead honey badgers to beehives. After honey badgers break the hive, birds eat the remaining beeswax. This is a rare symbiotic relationship in nature. Both species benefit. Birds get food, honey badgers find hives faster. However, this relationship is gradually decreasing due to shrinking habitat. Both honey badgers and honey-guide birds need large spaces to survive. In the West, honey badgers have become cultural icons. The slogan, "Honey badger don't care," is famous everywhere. It represents an indomitable spirit. The honey badger's life philosophy inspires many people. Persistent, independent, unafraid of difficulties. Despite their tough exterior, honey badgers are also creatures that need protection. Their habitat is gradually shrinking due to expanding farming and livestock. Farmers sometimes hunt honey badgers because they attack poultry. Poisoning and trapping also threaten the species' numbers. Climate change in 2026 also affects honey badgers. Prolonged drought and rising temperatures reduce food sources. Conservation organizations are researching to better understand honey badgers, monitoring movement, behavior, and their ecological needs. Community education helps people understand the honey badger's role and find solutions for peaceful coexistence between humans and wildlife. Honey badgers are an indispensable part of the African savanna. Their presence is a sign of a healthy ecosystem. The honey badger's intelligence, strength, and courage are evidence of wonderful evolution, an enviable survivor. In the challenging natural world, they never give up, never stop finding ways to survive. The honey badger's future depends on decisions to protect habitat, reduce conflict, and raise awareness. Honey badgers remind us that strength doesn't come from size. It comes from determination, from adaptability, and from relentless persistence. In the ever-changing natural world, honey badgers will continue to survive, as long as we give them the opportunity. The honey badger walks through the savanna, unafraid, undeterred, because this is their world. Afternoon sunlight illuminates the Serengeti grasslands. Dry grass glows golden under temperatures of 35 degrees Celsius, a typical day in the heart of Africa. Here, every meal must be contested. Predator and prey, robber and robbed. The line between success and failure is very fragile. Two predator species are about to collide. One side is a warrior with deadly weapons. One side is an opportunistic thief who will claim victory. This is the story of an unexpected encounter, when a plan to steal prey becomes a battle to the death, when instinct decides survival. The secretary bird is one of Africa's most unique birds of prey. They stand over 1 meter tall and have a wingspan of nearly 2 meters. The name comes from the black feathers behind the head, resembling quill pens tucked behind a secretary's ear in olden times. But this bird is anything but gentle. They hunt snakes, large lizards, rodents, insects, but venomous snakes are their favorite. They have a unique hunting technique: kick prey to death. Long legs, sharp curved talons, specially developed leg muscles. A kick can generate force of nearly 20 kilograms, enough to crush the bones of venomous snakes. Serval, also called grassland wildcat, smaller than spotted leopards but larger than house cats. They weigh about 9 to 18 kilograms. The largest ears in the cat family relative to body size, superhuman hearing, can hear mice moving underground. Long legs, highest leg-to-body ratio in the cat family. It can jump up to 3 meters high and achieves a hunting success rate of about 50%. But today, the serval isn't hunting. It's seeking opportunity, stealing prey from others, conserving energy, increasing survival efficiency. The secretary bird has just found a snake, puff adder, venomous, dangerous, but to the secretary bird, this is a good meal. The snake rears its head, opens its mouth threateningly, ready to inject venom. But the secretary bird has faced such situations countless times. A kick shoots out lightning fast. Precise. Strikes the snake's head directly. It writhes violently, but isn't dead yet. Another kick, then another. The snake lies motionless. The secretary bird bends down to check the prey. Victory is clear, but in the grass, another is watching silently. The serval presses itself flat to the ground. It moves slowly, each step separated by several seconds. No sound. Every movement is calculated. It weighs options quickly. The bird is taller, heavier, and has extremely powerful legs. But that fat snake is a valuable protein source. It steps slowly forward, not to hunt the bird, but to steal the prey, a familiar tactic of an opportunistic hunter. The secretary bird reacts immediately. Defensive instinct flares. It clamps the snake tightly in its beak and won't let go. This prey belongs to it. It spreads its wings nearly 2 meters wide, creating a large visual wall. The goal is to make the cat back down, a familiar defensive tactic. The serval backs away a few steps, but doesn't leave. It circles slowly, eyes still locked on target, patiently waiting for a moment of vulnerability. It lunges again, testing the bird's powerful legs. Claws touch wing feathers, but still not enough to steal the snake. The snake falls to the ground, but the conflict has now gone beyond food. No longer a dispute over prey. This is a battle. The secretary bird unleashes the first kick, lightning fast. Nearly 20 kilograms of force in an instant, misses the cat's head by just a few centimeters. The serval dodges quickly. Reflexes of a born hunter. It lunges, trying to bite the bird's knee joint to neutralize the dangerous legs. The bird jumps back. Second kick hits the cat's shoulder. Not strong enough to cause serious injury, but enough to cause pain. An accurate kick could shatter the serval's jaw, ending its hunting ability forever. Therefore, the cat must strike very fast and precisely. The serval lunges again, this time lowering its body. It pounces on the secretary bird's chest area. Claws dig deep, pulling the bird down. The secretary bird struggles violently. Wings beat on hard, creating wind currents that send dust flying. It tries to kick, but the serval has latched too close for the strike to be effective. The battle lasts about 3 minutes, consuming enormous metabolic energy. Both are breathing heavily, but neither side will let go. The serval changes tactics. It seeks the bird's neck position. This is the cat family's familiar killing technique, the suffocating bite. The secretary bird senses danger. It struggles to escape, but the cat's weight presses heavily. Wings no longer have space to swing. The serval seizes the bird's neck. Fangs sink deep, not piercing completely, but clamping tight. The goal is to cut off oxygen. Time decides life and death. The bird lies on the ground, wings spread wide on the dry earth. It's still alive, but no longer has strength to continue fighting. The cat still holds the bird's neck tight. It doesn't loosen. The struggling weakens with each second, each breath, until the body is motionless. After about 5 minutes, all movement ceases. The warrior has fallen. The opportunist wins, not through strength, but through tactics. The serval releases the bird. It's exhausted. Victory has come, but the price is very high. Energy expended equivalent to many days of normal hunting. It doesn't eat the bird. Instead, it drags out the snake, the original meal, the reason for the conflict. It eats hurriedly before others appear. 15 minutes later, vultures land. They clean up what remains. Here, nothing is wasted. The cycle continues. Prey stealing is common behavior in Africa. Hyenas steal from leopards. Lions steal leopard kills. Survival becomes more difficult. But this behavior is full of risk. About half the time, the thief gets injured, 1/5 end in death. The price to pay is very high. Climate change makes food sources scarcer. Competition increases. Prey theft occurs more frequently. Mortality rates also rise. Both servals and secretary birds are species that need conservation. Their numbers are declining as habitats increasingly shrink. As the sun sets over the Serengeti, the grassland gradually quiets again. The cat has left. Vultures have flown away. Only traces of battle remain on the sand. In the harsh reality of the African bush, the line between hunter and prey is always fragile. The thief can become the executioner. No heroes, no villains, only creatures trying to survive by any means and any tactics possible. And in the silence of the Serengeti night, one law still silently operates. Nature doesn't judge. Nature only selects. The wiser one, the luckier one, the one still alive. The Kalahari Desert awakens with dawn. Temperature rises rapidly from 15 to 30 degrees. A new day begins with survival challenges. Here, every creature has its own story. A story of survival, of memory, of decisions that can change fate. Today, an encounter will unfold between predator and defensive army, between individual strength and collective tactics. Who will claim victory? This is the story of Ravager, an experienced hyena, and a meerkat colony that refuses to surrender. When instinct collides with strategy, Ravager weighs 72 kilograms. The strongest jaws among African carnivores can crush bones. It hunted successfully here 3 months ago. The memory of an easy meal remains vivid. Today, it returns with confidence in victory. But Ravager doesn't know. 3 months is a long time. The meerkat colony has changed. They learned their lesson. They're no longer easy prey. Meerkats, each individual weighs about 1 kilogram, but a colony of 50 creates astonishing collective strength. They live in a complex social system, clear division of labor, sentries, hunters, babysitters, and today, all are warriors. Morning. Ravager appears on the sand dune, looks down at the colony. The meerkat sentry detects immediately. A warning call rings out. But the colony doesn't run, doesn't panic, doesn't scatter. They gather together, form ranks, a living wall of 50 individuals. Ravager stops, surprised that the meerkat colony isn't fleeing like last time. It assesses the situation, but hunger drives it to attack. It steps down slowly, displaying strength and opening its mouth to reveal teeth as a threat. But the meerkat colony stands firm, doesn't back down. Distance only 10 meters remaining. Ravager suddenly accelerates, charging straight at the colony with familiar tactics. Break formation and isolate the weakest individual. But the formation doesn't break. They move in sync. The entire colony remains a unified mass. The predator is confused by collective tactics never seen before. Ravager changes tactics. It charges straight into the center of formation, tries to catch an isolated individual, but meerkats are too fast. Always another individual immediately provides cover. Suddenly, the meerkat colony counterattacks, not fleeing as usual. They attack the predator's legs, bite quickly, then immediately withdraw. Ravager flinches in pain. It turns to retaliate, but the meerkat has retreated. Another individual attacks from behind. Then another continues. This is the tactic of numbers. No individual fights alone. When one attacks, another rests. The rotation like the heartbeat of a shared body. Finally, Ravager catches a meerkat. It bites tight, then shakes hard. A short cry rings out, then fades. The price of collective tactics. But the predator has no time to eat. More than 10 meerkats charge at once, biting legs, belly, ears, like living needles stabbing the giant. Ravager spins wildly. It tries to shake off the small bodies clinging tight, but claws dig deep into skin, while tiny teeth continue biting ceaselessly. In seconds, 2 meerkats are caught, but each small victory consumes energy, while the entire colony remains numerous. 5 minutes of fighting. Ravager begins tiring. Breathing becomes heavy. Steps slow down. Small bites accumulate gradually, silently eroding strength. Meerkats don't stop. They sense the change. The predator is weakening. They intensify attacks. Stronger, faster, more ferocious. Ravager tries to back away, retreat toward the hill, but they follow closely, biting hind legs. Small bites make its steps become limping. After 10 minutes, the hunt reverses. Ravager backs against a boulder to defend, like an exhausted warrior, raising a final shield before the small storm. It roars again, the hoarse sound echoing across the grassland. A final effort to threaten, but the meerkats have seen blood. Fear disappears. In a final surge of adrenaline, the predator breaks out of the encirclement. It kills 3 in succession. A brief gap opens in the sea of small bodies. 5 meerkats lie motionless, the price of victory, but the remaining 45 stand firm, continue attacking like a living wall. Ravager recognizes harsh truth. This is no longer a hunt. This is an unwinnable battle where numbers have overwhelmed individual strength. It turns and flees, no longer a mighty hunter, but a wounded creature in retreat. The meerkat colony chases for 50 meters to ensure safety. Ravager disappears behind the sand dune. Dust flies thick behind. Blood seeps from many small bites, while the hind leg limps as a mark of defeat. Meerkats stop, then return to the colony. No more pursuit. The message is clear enough. This land is not for solitary predators. The entire colony stands upright, calls out. Victory cries echo across the desert. 5 have sacrificed, but 45 survive. They look at fallen comrades. The entire colony falls silent, but thanks to everyone's unity, they've repelled the enemy. Victory isn't perfect, but it's still victory. The first time this colony has repelled an adult hyena. In following days, Ravager doesn't return. Wounds gradually heal, but the memory of battle remains. It seeks other hunting grounds, less risky. Meerkats' collective defense tactics are one of nature's greatest wonders. Their strength lies not in muscle, but in unity. But not every herd is so fortunate. When the numbers fall below 30 individuals, the defensive system weakens. At that point, a single hyena can still make a successful kill. Climate change affects both species. Prolonged dry seasons make food scarce, causing meerkats to birth fewer young, while hyenas must expand hunting territories. Both are important species in the ecosystem. Meerkats control insects. Hyenas clean up carcasses as nature's silent gatekeepers. Scientists are studying collective defense behavior, viewing it as a biological model, helping understand how small species survive under predator pressure. When the sun sets, the meerkat colony returns to burrows. Tired but safe, they lie close together, sleeping, like small coals, keeping warm through unity. Elsewhere, Ravager walks alone, legs still wounded, carrying the costly lesson of a solitary predator. In the silence of the Kalahari Desert, 2 lessons are rewritten. For Ravager, no prey is truly easy. For meerkats, unity is the strongest weapon. Nature doesn't distinguish large or small, strong or weak. It only distinguishes who survives. And sometimes, survival doesn't come from individual strength, but from the strength of the collective, from faith in teammates, from silent sacrifice. That's the lesson the tiny meerkat colony has carved into the desert. The Luangwa River flows through the heart of Zambia, clear water reflecting the sky. But this calm surface conceals a dangerous world below. The dry season arrives, water level drop, large pools shrink into small lakes, animals gather around water sources. Danger begins to emerge. Here, two giant species coexist: hippos, Nile crocodiles. Both are masters of the river, but when water recedes, territories begin to overlap. This is the story of new life, of the survival battle from day one, when the underwater trap always lurks, waiting for moments of weakness. Hippopotamus, the third largest land mammal after elephants and rhinos. Adult weight up to 1,500 kilograms. Canine teeth up to 60 centimeters long. Bite force 2,000 kilograms. Speed on land 30 kilometers per hour. One of Africa's most dangerous animals. They live in groups of 10 to 30 individuals. Complex social structure. Dominant males control a territory. Females and young live communally. Underwater, they can dive for 5 minutes. They walk on the riverbed, communicate with low-frequency sounds. A separate world exists beneath the surface. Today, a female is about to give birth. She leaves the pod, seeks calmer water, a place with less crocodile presence, where she has the best chance to protect her calf. Hippos give birth underwater. Unlike most mammals, the newborn must swim to the surface immediately for its first breath, a life or death moment. The calf weighs about 30 kilograms, vulnerable, cannot dive long yet, completely dependent on mother. The first days are most dangerous. The mother hippo keeps her calf on her back or in front of her body, always within control. Protective instinct rarely seen in herbivores. Nile crocodile, one of the largest surviving reptiles, can reach 6 meters long, weighing nearly a ton. Lifespan can reach 100 years. They don't hunt adult hippos. Too large, too dangerous. But hippo calves are different targets. Small, weak, easily separated from mother. Crocodiles can lie motionless for hours. Only eyes and nostrils above water. The rest hidden below, like driftwood. No one suspects. Perfect ambush tactics at river crossing points, where hippos must pass daily, where water is shallow, where calves are easily separated. Second week after birth, the mother hippo needs to return to the pod. The calf is strong enough to travel, but not strong enough to defend itself. She must pass through territories of 3 different males. Each could attack the calf, not to eat, but to eliminate another's genes. And crocodiles? At least 5 lurking along the route, they know the mother hippo will pass. Just a matter of time. Early morning. The mother hippo begins her journey. The calf swims close beside, trying to keep up, but swimming speed much slower than mother's. First territory. A bull hippo blocks the way, mouth gaping wide, a clear warning, but she doesn't back down. Tension lasts several seconds. Then the bull retreats, not from fear, but because it's not worth confronting a mother protecting her young at all costs. They enter shallow water, the crossing point. Water surface clear as crystal, peaceful, but the mother hippo knows silence is a sign of danger. She slows down, eyes scanning every ripple, ears listening for every sound. The calf swims behind, unaware danger is imminent. 1 meter ahead, just below the surface, the largest crocodile in the area lies still, waiting for the perfect opportunity. The calf falls slightly behind mother, just 1 meter, but enough to create a gap for the crocodile to act. The decisive moment has arrived. The crocodile launches from the riverbed. Water explodes, white foam erupts, jaws gaping wide, targeting the calf's hind leg. Astonishing speed. The mother hippo reacts instantly, spins around, charges backward, pushes calf aside. The bite misses by mere centimeters. But the crocodile doesn't give up. It twists in the water, this time aiming straight for the calf's neck. If it succeeds, everything will end. The mother hippo charges between them. 2,000 kilograms of hippo colliding with 1 ton of crocodile. Water erupts. Cannot see clearly. Only sounds of violent impact. She opens her mouth wide. Canines stab the crocodile's flank. Thick scales protect it, but cannot withstand the massive bite force. She hurls the crocodile out of the water. Then it crashes down, a stunning display of power. The crocodile swims away. Though injured, it survives. Today's meal doesn't belong to it. It misjudged a mother's strength. The mother hippo turns back, checks her calf, trembling, frightened, but uninjured. But the journey isn't over. 2 more territories remain. Other crocodiles still wait. She must continue. Keep her calf closer, more vigilant. 2 hours later, they reach the pod, safe. The first survival lesson has been learned. In the following weeks, the calf grows rapidly, learns to dive longer, swim faster, recognize danger, each day a new lesson. But risk doesn't disappear. Crocodiles still lurk, bull hippos still aggressive, and the dry season makes life harsher. Climate change extends the dry season. Water sources increasingly shrink. Hippos and crocodiles forced to live closer together. Conflicts increase. Each year, about 30% of hippo calves don't survive the first year. Crocodiles, bull hippos, food shortage, disease. But survivors will become stronger, smarter, more cautious. They learn the most important lesson. Vigilance is the key to survival. Conservation areas are working to protect them, monitoring hippopods, protecting water sources, preventing poaching, but challenges remain enormous. In 2026, hippo populations declined 30% in the past 2 decades. Urgent action needed to protect them. When the sun sets, the hippopod emerges on shore to feed. The calf stays close to mother, safer on land, but tomorrow they'll return to the water. Beneath the surface, crocodiles still lie silent, waiting for a new day, waiting for another opportunity. The survival cycle continues, without rest. In the silence of the Luangwa River, a truth is rewritten each day. Life doesn't begin with ease, but with battle. Calves don't just learn to swim, don't just learn to eat. They learn to recognize danger, trust instinct, and learn to survive. And in that lesson lies a powerful message. The greatest strength doesn't lie in muscle, but in a mother's love, ready to fight to the end to protect life. Dawn over the Grumeti River, early daylight paints the murky water surface golden. Thin mist rises, landscape quiet, even a small movement becomes obvious. On the sandbar, overnight traces tell what happened. Footprints going into water, then returning, but also streaks going only one way. The river is the only water source in dry season, but also the boundary between life and death. This morning's flat surface guarantees nothing about what's below. On the other side of burnt grassland, hundreds of wildebeest advance toward the riverbank. Red dust rolling with footsteps, low calls echoing far, thirst forcing them to approach despite risks. They're Africa's largest migratory species. With millions of individuals moving seasonally, the river becomes the most dangerous challenge on the journey. Bodies adapted to grasslands, long legs for running, curved horns for goring, but underwater they lose advantage and become vulnerable. In dry season, the herd must drink water daily, no other choice. Thirst draws them to the riverbank, though always knowing danger hides below. The herd stops about 10 meters from shore, intently observing the water surface. No one dares step forward first, because instinct warns pioneers rarely return. Thirst overwhelms fear. A large male steps down first, water rising from hooves to knees. It lowers head drinking hurriedly. Each second head down is a second losing vigilance. Seeing the male safe, the entire herd moves closer. Vigilance quickly decreases as thirst overwhelms, creating the most dangerous moment. Less than 4 meters from shore, 2 pairs of eyes have been waiting. Motionless, patient, they track each step, waiting for prey to enter inescapable distance. Prey in range, the male lowers head to drink, muzzle touches water. Less than 2 meters from crocodile jaws, countdown begins before the attack. To understand the danger right before eyes, one must look at the creature hiding at the bottom since before dawn. Species virtually unchanged for 200 million years because the design was perfect from the start. Nile crocodile, reaching 5 meters long, weighing over 700 kilograms. Bite force, exceeding 3,700 pounds per square inch. Strongest among all animals living on Earth today. Its tactic is lying motionless, lowering heart rate, conserving energy, waiting for prey to approach on its own, then lunging extremely fast, locking jaws and dragging underwater. After locking jaws, crocodiles perform the death roll, spinning body to tear prey. If not dead yet, it drags deep down, letting water complete the rest. This morning, the male wildebeest lowering head is only 2 meters from crocodile jaws. Sensory organs help it receive vibrations, determining prey position without needing to see yet. Only 1 meter remains. Crocodile tightens tail, parts jaws, while wildebeest lowers for one more final gulp, completely unaware that's the last peaceful moment. Water surface explodes. Crocodile lunges up, clamping tight on prey's head. Tremendous bite force locks rigid, heavy body, jerking wildebeest down into the water. Herd panics, running upshore, dust billowing thick. Only the trapped male held head underwater, 4 legs thrashing hopelessly, cries choked between mud and waves. Crocodile begins death roll, body coiling underwater, but wildebeest still resists, hind legs gripping bottom, trying to hold against violent spinning force. The spin isn't strong enough to bring down large prey. Crocodile changes tactics, stops spinning, and drags wildebeest toward deep water, where legs can't touch bottom and all advantages vanish. Wildebeest resists fiercely, hind legs kicking bottom, maintaining position. Head gripped, but body still above water surface. Each second still breathing is each second nurturing hope of life. Adrenaline surges. Wildebeest jerks hard, pulling crocodile towards shallow water. Nearly escaping at times, head surfaces, eyes wide open, gasping breaths echoing amid the water. But crocodile won't release. Jaws locked tight, begins pulling back. Wildebeest slips footing, loses grip point, gradually dragged back to deep area. The tug of war tilts toward water. Water rises to neck, then to head. Everything ends when legs no longer touch bottom. Wildebeest dragged under, river surface quickly returns to flat calm. On shore, wildebeest herd stands silently watching the river surface. No calls, only eyes fixed on where their kind just disappeared. Heavy atmosphere enveloped. Underwater, crocodile drags carcass to deep area, securing to tree roots. It doesn't eat immediately, but lets prey soak for days to soften, then tears gradually. The river just took a life. But the entire herd's thirst remains unchanged. And the Grumeti River is the only water source within 20 kilometers radius. 2 hours later, the herd returns to riverbank, steps slower, keeping distance farther. No one dares lower head drinking too long, though thirst still urges. They take turns drinking water. A few lower down, the rest vigilantly observe. Each small ripple also makes the whole group flinch back warily. Below water surface, another crocodile has positioned, smaller and lying close to shore. Blood scent from the previous attack still spreading, silently attracting more predators. Water surface explodes again. Crocodile lunges up close to shore. Jaws snap down, nearly hitting wildebeest's leg, but misses, making entire herd rush up shore in chaos. No one caught, but the attack shows the river isn't safe at any distance. Crocodiles control even the water's edge, where the safety boundary is thinner than wildebeest thought. Herd stops 50 meters from river, breathing heavily, eyes glued to water surface. Thirst unresolved, midday sun rising high, making dehydration increase rapidly. Another half hour passes. Thirst again defeats fear. Herd advances toward river, choosing new position 100 meters further upstream, where bank is gentler and water shallower. They don't know crocodiles also move. Beneath murky surface, they silently drift, following herd upstream, like invisible shadows. Herd begins drinking. Only a few go down to water's edge. The rest stand guard. A female steps deeper, seeking clearer water, inadvertently advancing exactly into crocodile ambush position. The largest crocodile lunges up, jaws locked tight on female wildebeest's neck. Fatal position near blood vessels. Bite force piercing through skin and flesh, holding prey unable to escape. Tug of war begins. Female wildebeest's legs still touch bottom. It kicks hard, trying to pull crocodile back towards the shore. Because only losing footing, all advantages will vanish. Battle lasts in over 4 minutes, rare with crocodiles. Female wildebeest still resists, continuously kicking, pulling, and keeping head above water to breathe. Second crocodile suddenly appears from behind, biting the rear. Two pulling forces in opposite directions make prey torn between heavy bodies. Wildebeest still resists, but third crocodile charges in, biting near head. 3 directions pulling simultaneously make it lose footing and drag completely off river bottom. Female wildebeest dragged under. Water surface churns then settles, foam spreading long with current, closing the battle as river swallows another life. Blood scent spreading in water attracts more crocodiles. 5, 6, then 7 heads emerge, converging on one point. Wildebeest carcass becomes collective feast, uninvited. On shore, wildebeest herd stands silently watching the reddened river surface. No signal needed, they understand. Then turn backs, leaving, abandoning this water point to find elsewhere. Grumeti River always flows, crocodiles present everywhere, no safe place, only places not yet attacked, and herds still must drink before dark. That's the law. To live must drink, to drink must come to river. Each approach is accepting risk, trading between thirst and life. Evening descends. Water surface returns to calm. Midday traces swept away. Vultures circle, but don't descend, because the river has kept everything. Underwater, well-fed crocodiles lie scattered, heart rate slows. They can fast long, but still wait, following millions of years of survival instinct. Upstream, herd finds shallow section to drink. They only lower quickly for seconds, then retreat. Drinking style carrying survival nature. No more peace. Each attack deepens instinct. Next generation will fear water more, drink faster, keep distance farther, increasing survival chances through passed down memory. And crocodiles also evolve. Next generation more patient, lying closer to shore, waiting longer, because prey increasingly vigilant, and only the most patient can hunt. Dusk covers Grumeti. Water shifts from blue to deep red, this time from skylight. But that beauty conceals danger as light gradually weakens. Wildebeest herd retreats deep into grassland, resting at night, sleeping standing vigilantly. Tomorrow morning, when thirst returns, they'll hesitate before the river again and step down again. In nature, life always comes with trade-offs. Wildebeest need water, crocodiles need prey, and the river connects these two needs in daily survival loop. Night blankets, Grumeti. Frog calls echo along shore. Hippos call amid stream. Water surface shifts to another world where new dangers continue unfolding. On river bottom, crocodiles lie motionless, conserving energy. Though resting, sensory organs still operate, ready to react to any vibration. Night wind blows along Grumeti. Water surface ripples lightly under moon. Blood traces washed clean, sandbar flat and calm. By morning, no traces remain of what occurred. Moon rises high, river still flows as for millions of years. Water surface flat, calm, beautiful, and inviting. But the question each prey must answer each morning remains unchanged. Drink or not drink, live or not live.